Hello and welcome to Tuesday's free live event. We are talking about how to make a new battle plan tonight. Whew, I don't know about you, but I have heard some really tough stories from some warrior women in the last several weeks, and including myself going through really stressful times in life. And when that can happen, we can kind of, if we made a battle plan, we can kind of throw shit out the window and go, I don't know what's happening. And we can really derail ourselves. So I want to talk about tonight when that real life problem happens or that real life stress, how to create a new battle plan that's going to kind of help you get back on track. If you are new here, welcome. Let me introduce myself. My name is Renee Paulson. I'm a recovering food and sugar addict and also a healthy living and nutrition coach. I was addicted hardcore to sugar, consuming about an average of 3 cups of sugar every single day. And it wasn't until I really kind of got hit in the face with a big truck when I was going to try and buy a candy bar and cigarettes that I kind of realized, I think I have a bit of a problem. So I kind of went on my journey to get healthy and started really with a sugar detox and really realizing how little we really know about nutrition and how to help ourselves in general as a society. And kind of, went about my own health journey. And now I use that to help as many women as I can, not just lose weight, but get healthy, feel amazing, feel fabulous, step into the warrior woman that you are, and talking about how to create a new battle plan. Because I have never met a warrior woman that ain't gotten through some battles. And I'm generally talking hardcore battles. If you've been through battles, hit the like, put it in the comments if you'd like to share. We are all in this together, but I've had battles like, getting hit by a big truck. That was a really big battle that I didn't expect. And, certain things like that where, you kind of have to really readjust. And this year I've had extra kid stress, which is just normal, real mom life. And so, again, that kind of brought about this. As well as hearing from a lot of other women that are struggling right now. And we're now in February and past January 19th, which is dubbed Quitter's Day. If you made any New Year's resolutions, especially for health and weight loss, by now those have all kind of gone by the wayside, and most, about 80% is the average, 80% of people have quit. Now, the biggest reason that I think people really quit is that lack of a plan, or let's say you made a plan and you didn't really know how to break it down fully, or also real life handed you battles and shiznit hit the fan and you're going, I'm trying to keep the house from being on fire and everything's burning down around you, and you're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. So we're going to talk about how to really look at that plan if you've had a plan. So let's go through if you've had a plan or what you're doing now. One of the first things that we want to do is take pen to paper. Pen to paper is very therapeutical. I don't know if that's even a word. Therapeutic, not therapeutical. But really just helps form those thoughts and takes that emotion, kind of helps get that out of it, especially when you're going through battles. Usually you're pretty emotional. And so taking that pen to paper, there's just a different connection in the brain. And science, that's backed by science. So taking that pen to paper and going through your plan and going okay, well, number one, let's write down a list of what's not working right now. What is in your plan or in your week or in your life or towards your goals, what's not working right now? Is it that you said you were going to go to the gym 5 to 6 days a week and you're like, I can't hit that, so I'm going 0 days a week, or I'm going 1 day a week here and there sporadically, or I planned on meal prepping and that's not happening and I'm struggling with what to cook, or all of those things. So writing down what's not working right now and then looking at that flip side and going, okay, well, what is working right now? What is working for me right now that I feel good about, that I want to keep doing? So making that list on the side. Maybe it's that, I don't know what's working for me right now. I'm not eating out this week. I'm keeping all of my cooking whole food, plant-based, those types of things. So what's not working, and then that flip side of what is working. Now then again, we're taking that pen to paper and you go through and writing down what are the things that you need to do less this month to start getting momentum and movement towards your goal, basically. What are some things that you need to do less of? Does that mean you need to spend less time on social media? Or if you are on social media for things like this, what is the time that you're spending on social media? Is it intentional time where you're learning something, or is it just mindless time? So maybe less mindless time on social media. What are the other things you need to do less of? Less of excuses, and that goes for me too. Trying to keep my workout routine very consistent, so less excuses, and things like, what do you need to do less of? What do you need to do more of? Most of the time, we know what we need to do less of, and we know what we need to do more of, in general speaking. Now, here's where, if you really have a hard time getting started and doing that, even sitting down to make that plan and keep yourself accountable, that's when either I would suggest getting an accountability partner. And that means like a really good partner that's going to be all up in your business and call you out for your crap, even though you don't want them to do that. I am not talking about your best friend Susie, who likes to go out to the Chinese buffet or whatever, I'm not talking about that lady. I'm talking about the person who's like, I see you. Number 2, if you don't have a person like that in your life, I would highly encourage you to invest in yourself and your health and getting a coach. Ding, 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 ding. This will take you to the 90% goal of reaching that, because you have someone who is up in your business, who does this for a living, and they want to see you succeed. My number 1 tip, if you are looking for a coach, and that includes if you're looking at me for a coach, is to do your research and make sure that you vibe with that person first. As a general rule for myself, I wait to work with someone until after they've gone through Sugar Warrior 10, just so that they can understand and get a feel for how I coach, and see if they vibe with that and they want to continue after that. And I'm not a pressure person, but just do your research, make sure you vibe with someone, because, and I will tell you, because I have made the mistake of investing in a coach and not really fully doing my research and just being like gung-ho. And it was a very expensive mistake and a very valuable lesson. I wouldn't say mistake, but a very expensive lesson. So if you want to look at an accountability coach or someone to hold you accountable, do your research, like I said. But that is also a person that can help you sit down to make that plan. So now that we've got those lists of, here's the things I need to do more of, here's the things I need to do less of, here's what's not working, and here's what is working. Then you need to lay down, where is your goal, right? We talked about in the beginning of the year laying out goals for maybe the next 30 days, and then the next 3 months, and then the next 6 months, and the next year, and taking those chunks. So most of the time right now, let's keep it real, things feel very overwhelming. And so I really want to focus on taking those goals in the next 30 days and taking that nice little small chunk and going, here's what I want to accomplish in the next 30 days. I don't want it to be like, but an example of what we wouldn't want it to be is, you wouldn't want it to be like, well, I want to lose 10 pounds in the next, 30 days, whatever the case. Instead of making that a weight goal, make it something to do with health, or if you're doing it for some other reason, but make it very specific. Like, I want to hit the gym 4 days a week consistently over the next 30 days. Or I want to work up my walking to where I walk maybe for 10 to 15 minutes a day. I want to work up my walking to where I can walk 45 minutes a day over the next 30 days. I want to eat mostly plant-based over the next 30 days. Instead of saying mostly, put a percentage. I want to eat 90% plant-based or 100% plant-based over the next 30 days. So making those really tangible goals over the next 30 days that feel more manageable. And then what I want you to move into after that is to look at the weeks in a chunk. Now, we've already started this week and we're on a Tuesday, but that's okay. So you can do this this evening or whenever you're watching this replay. And you can look at the week in the chunk and say, okay, here's what I'm going to plan out for the week. Usually in my family, what we do is we sit down and make a whole menu for the week. Not like I'm going to cook this on this day, but kind of just a feel of what we're going to have on the menu for the week. and know like, okay, we need really quick recipes if we're all going to jujitsu because we don't get home till 8:30, so we need to get something that's really quick or we made before, things like that. So taking that week in the chunk, and then if you're going to do maybe it's your workout days or your walking days or whatever it is, taking in those weeks and filling in what days you're going to do that and what time. How are you going to implement that? Is it that you're going to go to the gym? So at 5 p.m. on Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday, you're going to go drive to the gym and work out for an hour. Or on Sunday, you're going to make meals for Monday, Tuesday, and maybe Wednesday. That way you're covered for the next 3 days, and then building your week out from there. So finding those ways that you're really going to work that in and plan for it that week. So when you go to that week or you're looking at your calendar or whatever, and you say, okay, well, here's what the plan is, it's already there. Instead of guessing, and when we get to that, like, oh, I don't know what to do, it either becomes like we become frozen or we shoot off the rails into total left field. So really making sure you have that plan, because our brains really like that. We already have a plan and we already know what we're doing, and we feel like we kind of got our shit together a little bit, and it fills our brain with dopamine. So really making sure that you have that plan, because again, it's going to take that guessing work out of it. This is also why I, as an example, will track my food in Chronometer. When I'm tracking my food, I will either do it in the morning before I eat anything, or the night before. So then I already have a plan and I don't have to guess about anything. And I'm kind of just like going on that pilot, not autopilot, but there is something, it was in the book Atomic Habits. My husband's reading that right now, but there's something in there called implementation intention. And this is part of the basis of what we're talking about, trying to formulate that new battle plan. Because you need to figure out how you're going to get through the next battle or the current battle that you're getting, that you're going through, and how to get towards your goals instead of leaving everything to the wayside. Because when we do that, we can, again, mental health, we can slip backwards. So creating those plans and making sure that you know where you're going throughout the week. And I will tell you, I'm going to show you, this is the number one tool that I use every day, even on the weekends, not as faithfully on the weekends, I will tell you. I kind of like skimp around, but I use a push journal every single day to try and plan out my day. And I usually write it out all the night before, and I'll color code everything because I got ADHD, so I got to keep my brain excited about scheduling things that I don't want to do. And so I literally can't live without this. Like, if I don't have this, I'm like, what am I supposed to do today? I even put on here like I need to do the laundry, stuff like that, because when we check things off, our brains love it. These are really great planners. I've used a bunch of different planners, and I personally love this one. It's the Push Journal. It's from Chalene Johnson. I followed her for forever. I am a hardcore Turbo Fire, Turbo Jam fan from long before anything. And, realized that through her, and also being diagnosed with ADHD, realizing how important it is to have that battle plan instead of trying to fall back on like, well, I know what I need to do. And I will tell you that my phone's not in here right now, obviously, but if you use your phone, this is a distraction. I don't even know why I'm playing with this, but I will open that up and immediately I am whisked off to another area of what I was supposed to be doing when I opened it up. I could open it up and then I get sucked into like Instagram comments or whatever, and then I totally forgot what I was even doing, and I close the phone and I don't. So I do not recommend creating that plan on your phone or anything like that. It really is a pen to paper type of deal. It will help you. Trust me. Putting that battle plan down, and then really once you kind of get that plan and you have that implementation intention, okay, on these days I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this and this and this. Also making sure you're taking time for some self-care in there. Scheduling that in for yourself is very important, because we as women will not do that because we take care of everybody else except ourselves. So I usually like to try and do some type of self-care on Sunday. Taking off a huge chunk, of like, I'm going to do a whole facial and blah, 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 all these things on Sunday. It sounds very overwhelming. So usually I shoot for a face mask. And if I get a face mask and a bubble bath, I call it a bonus. So depending on where you're at in life, especially if you have younger kids, self-care is really hard. And it could just be like a moment of silence in your closet sitting in the dark. I've been there. So trying to schedule that time in, even if you go to your spouse and you're like, listen, I just need to go sit by myself in the silence for a little bit, and that's my self-care. Scheduling those in, that implementation intention. The group, I have to circle back to it. The book Atomic Habits, in that group that they did this testing on this implementation intention is, yes, you have the intention, but how are you going to do it? And scheduling and planning that out, 91% success rate, because you're not just saying, well, I want to go to the gym 4 days a week. You're really looking at your schedule throughout the week and you're planning it and you're writing it down. Again, something with writing it down, pen to paper, super helpful when it comes to like remembering anything, especially for me. I know that I can see it when I write it down, and if I put it in the phone, it's a non-existent type of a thing. I don't know if that's just an ADHD thing. I think it might be, but maybe not. I think that technology is great, but also there's some stuff that you got to rock old school. And especially when you're making new battle plans, if you've got shit going on, pen to paper is going to help really release that anxiety. Because when you get it down on paper, it feels like you can take a breath. Like, okay, I made a new plan, and I know the direction that I have to head in. I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do less of. And I feel good about this. So I hope that you found this very informative. I just burped a little bit, excuse me. I hope that you found this really helpful. I really love using these tools to help me create a new battle plan when I got shit going on, man. This is how, if I've got any type of stress going on, or I feel overwhelmed, or, anything like that, I take pen to paper and I'm like, okay, well, what's not working for me? What is stressing me out? What is giving me this anxiety or this anxious feeling that I need to figure out how to work around? Pen to paper, super important. On setting your goals and really also checking in on how you're doing with those. So I hope that you found this informative. I love you. Thank you so much for staying with me. And Tuesday Night Lives will continue to resume as normally scheduled. Other than that, you are an amazing warrior. Whatever battle that you're dealing with or you're facing right now, you do not have to face that alone. I got your back, and I know a lot of warrior women that have your back as well. I would love to invite you to a private group. I will link that group in the comments. Tons of warrior women in there. If you are struggling or you are going through a battle, reach out to women in there, because there's a lot of women in there that are doing the same thing. So like I said, you don't have to battle alone. You are an amazing warrior. I can't wait to see your new battle plan in action. I love you bunches, and I hope that you have a great night. Bye-bye.